What's up, millennials? So in exchange for your time and hopefully a like as well, today we're going to talk about AgEagle with ticker symbol UAVS, which so far probably is the drone company that I am most bullish about. Now in this video we're going to do three things. First of all, we're going to go through a brief overview of AgEagle. Then we're going to talk about their current partnership with Valqari and their possible partnership with Amazon. And in the end of this video, I'm going to show you some technical analysis. Now, before we get started, I do want to tell you this. AgEagle is a very high risk stock. It is very speculative. And the information in this video is not financial advice. These are just the random opinions and thoughts from a random dude on the internet. Always do your own due diligence before you invest in a company. Okay, are you ready? Let's go then. Cool, then let's talk about AgEagle. The company's main focus is or was agriculture, which is also where the first part of their name comes from, of course. So how are these drones used in agriculture? Well, they have drones with cameras that can, for example, collect images. And then they also have some kind of analytic solution to analyze that data and analyze these images. Now this way the farmers can use these images and use this data to check how healthy their crops are. Now AgEagle is also focused on the industry of industrial hemp because this seems to be one of the most emerging industries within the United States. And I'm not talking about the 420 kind of hemp, if you know what I mean. I'm not entirely sure if industrial hemp is just an emerging industry in the United States, because here in the Netherlands, for example, I'm not sure if industrial hemp is a big thing as well. Of course, I know that the 420 kind of hemp is a big thing over here, of course. But AgEagle is also diversifying into other different use cases, like infrastructure inspection, security, public safety, insurance, telecommunications, and also package delivery. Now, if you've seen my other video about drones, which I'm going to put in the cards in the upper right corner, then you'll probably know that for now, I'm probably most bullish about package delivery as a use case for drones. So I'm happy to see that AgEagle is also diversifying at not just looking at agriculture, because nowadays, so many things are ordered online and so many of those things could actually be delivered via drones. Just think about things like food delivery or healthcare supplies or just regular packages like clothes or electronics or whatever you order online. Now, AgEagle itself as a standalone company is already quite convincing, but recently they've also partnered with a company called Valqari. Valqari is not a public company, so you cannot invest in them, but AgEagle now has a 2-year exclusive contract agreement with Valqari to produce the Valqari's drone delivery station. So what's a drone delivery station? Well, it looks a little bit like a mailbox. Let's check this out. So someone brings the package to the drone delivery station. As you can see, there are multiple slots as well to put the packages in. Then an elevator brings the package to the upper side of the delivery station. Then you've got these repositioning arms that center the package underneath the drone. And when the arms are done centering the package, then the package is actually attached to the drone, which we're going to see in a second just now. There you go. And then the drone is ready for takeoff and it can actually deliver the package to people's homes. Now, Valqari seems to be a very interesting company because they seem to be a company that sells shovels during a gold rush, right? Meaning that it's not just another company that manufactures drones, but they would also be making the drone delivery stations, right? So the infrastructure around the drones, which I think can be pretty significant. And AgEagle is going to manufacture and assemble these drone delivery stations for Valqari, which could bring, in some solid revenue streams. Now let's talk a little bit about the rumors about a possible partnership between AgEagle and Amazon, because for quite a while there have been a lot of rumors about that partnership. Now these might stay rumors and they might never become reality, because one of the reasons for these rumors was the fact that AgEagle is very close to an Amazon distribution center. And as we can see on Google Maps, for example, we can see that they are just 4 minutes away from each other by car. However, if we go back to this one, Back in October, an Amazon spokesman said that there is no partnership between AgEagle and Amazon and that they have actually never worked together in any capacity. Okay. Now, I don't necessarily think that this rumor is true, to be very honest with you, personally speaking. I think the likelihood, in my opinion, is very low. But hey, even if there is a probability of like 10 to 20% or something like that it does happen, it still is very interesting, right? And I hope I'm very wrong about that 10% and 20% probability. So what do you think? Do you believe that Amazon could actually partner up with AgEagle? But as we can see over here, AgEagle did say that they were going to partner up with a major e-commerce customer. Now, if we go back to Google Maps over here and we scroll out a little bit, we can also see that there is, for example, a Walmart supercenter close by. But I believe that Walmart already has gotten a partnership with a drone company called Zipline. And if we scroll out a little bit more and go to this one, we can see that there is also a Home Depot too. So hey, maybe those companies, so Home Depot and AgEagle, could become partners, of course. Now, I'm not an American myself, I'm from the Netherlands, so maybe you see some other major e-commerce companies around that AgEagle could work with. Now, possibly, personally speaking, I wouldn't really rely on any rumors right now, and I would just look at the potential of the company itself, right? Without the help of any possible third parties. And also, I'm not a drone expert, but personally, I believe that AgEagle could actually be located within this region. So let's go back to their, they're right over here. I believe they could actually be located in this position so that they are very close to this airport, which is right on the right-hand side of that company, right? I can imagine that AgEagle is actually using the airport as a sort of testing facility. I'm not entirely sure if that's going to go, if that's going to happen, of course. But on the other hand, I can also imagine that actually being close to an airport could also create difficulties because of the interference with airplanes, for example. So yeah, again, I'm not a drone expert myself, so if you have any good information on that, then definitely let me know in the comments. So then let's take a look at some technical analysis, because I do believe in this company long term, and that's also why I started a relatively small position, also because of technical analysis. And for today's technical analysis, we're going to keep it relatively short. We're only going to look at just one indicator today, which is going to be the 55 exponential moving average. And that is this white line over here. So the exponential moving average is basically an average of the last 55 days in this case, because it's the 55 EMA. The 55 exponential moving average, and it looks at the average share price of the last 55 days, giving some more importance to the last couple of days instead of the first couple of days of that 55-day period. All right, so 55-day daily EMA is this white line. We're on the daily chart right now. And as you can see, this white line has actually been used as a support and resistance line since the beginning of this run in about like April 2020, so this year. It was used as support over here in the end of April. Then the price action shot up and it came back down to the white EMA over here in July, went back up again, then came back down again. In August, it touched the white line again, came back up. And then here in September, the end of September, we actually saw the price action cross the 55 EMA, or the white line in this case. And then afterwards, in October, we saw that this white line was actually used as resistance instead. So price came down a little bit more. And now recently in November, like a week ago more or less, we saw that price action actually crossed the 55 daily exponential moving average again. And now, after the earnings, it has seemed to come down and now looks like it's based again on the 55 daily EMA. So that is one of the biggest reasons of the technical analysis that I've done, for which I have started a relatively small position in this company, in AgEagle, with ticker symbol UAVS. So there you go, a brief overview of AgEagle, their current partnership, their possible future partnership, and the technical analysis. Before you leave, please let me know in the comments, what do you think about AgEagle? Do you believe that this could actually become one of the biggest drone makers in the future? With that being said, thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Stay safe. Bye bye!